Hello everyone and welcome back to another session of Dark Souls Remastered PvP and another weapon showcase. Today we are taking a look at the Blacksmith Giant Hammer, which you get from killing the big boy blacksmith, the giant blacksmith in Anor Londo. That peaceable giant gives a really great weapon when you kill him. This thing is surprisingly good and extremely popular for certain builds, specifically for Soul Level 1 playthroughs. But we'll get into the details on that momentarily. Let's get started with the basics. This weapon requires 16 strength in order to wield, and that's it. On top of that, it is going to be upgraded with Twinkling Titanite, so at +0 it has a descaling in strength, it has a base damage of 120 physical and 200 lightning, and at +5 its scaling has not changed, it has a base damage of 180 physical and 300 lightning. Which makes this weapon a powerhouse, to be honest with you. It doesn't require much in the way of stat investment, you don't get anything much out of that descaling. Your damage will come from that base damage, and it's honestly kind of phenomenal. So, the biggest pro of the weapon is the base damage, there's no doubt about that. In addition to that, I would say that it's also got a very good pro of requiring very little in the way of stat investment. That does make this weapon highly popular for Soul Level 1 builds because they can use it when two-handing. That said, there are a few other pros to the weapon. It is the longest in the hammer class, so that is a great benefit for it. With the hammer class weapons, one of their biggest issues is that they are relatively short, so having one that has a good reach, well, it's kind of hard to go wrong with that. Beyond that though, this thing and its ability to stun lock, it's phenomenal, to be honest with you. It's nothing unique to this weapon in particular. Most hammer class weapons have that same capability, but with this one, because of the extra long reach that it has, it's accentuated a little bit. You can get to your opponent a little more easily, you won't push them out of your reach, it just works very well. And another pro of the weapon that is standard to the hammer class would simply be the fact that it actually is going to work very well when you're hitting someone's shield. It will drain their stamina very quickly, and that's a good thing. That means that you don't necessarily have to worry too terribly much about them being able to do a setup parry. Yes, it can be done, don't get me wrong, it can and most likely will be done to you at times. However, when you are just bashing on someone's shield, there's a chance that they'll panic a little bit because their stamina will drop, and it will drop very fast. Aside from that though, that's really all that this weapon has going for it, but it doesn't need a whole lot else. The only other thing that's really a major benefit to it is the fact that its criticals are absolutely devastating with this weapon. Yes, I am using a Hornet Ring, but that does not change the fact that in most cases, I can hit well over 900 damage with a critical, with a backstab, so that's phenomenal, to be honest with you. That said, regarding the cons of the weapon, because there are a good number of them, it is going to be a tad slow due to the fact that it is a hammer. It's going to be relatively easily dodged, which will cause a whiff animation when your attack misses. You'll stumble a little bit, you'll take a bit longer to recover, and that's unfortunate, but there's nothing to really be done about that. It's something you should expect with the territory of using a hammer class weapon. And really the biggest issue that I personally have with this weapon is the R2. I don't really care much for it. It's got the same kind of R2 as the club and the reinforced club, where you do a jump forward, followed by your secondary R2, which is a slower overhead swing. Whoops. And with that, it's hard to land that jump at times. The jumps in this game don't track in the same way that they do in 2 or even in 3 for that matter, so it makes it harder to land, and that's not a terrible thing. You can actually use your missed jumping attack with the R2 as a bait to lure them into your overhead, which is something I actually do in this fight. However, it's not the most commonly done thing, it's not the most easily done thing, so it is a bit of a detriment to the weapon, and it does limit your moveset and the viability as such. So, it is what it is, but that's all I've got for you guys this time around. I hope you've enjoyed this video, found it helpful in one way or another. If you have, then please like, subscribe, join the Discord to vote on future showcases, and I will see you guys next time.